What's up, YouTube gamers? Young Soul dropping another video and yet another Xbox failure. And surprise, surprise, Xbox most Xbox fanboys don't even realize it. Or if they do realize it, most of them haven't said a word about it because I guess they want this to go underneath the rug. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this right here. As you can see here, and I'll put a link to the description, a link to the article in the description. BioWare shakeup: Aaron Flynn leaving, Casey Hudson returning. Where's the Xbox failure, you might ask? Well, simple. Casey Hudson was actually brought from BioWare to Microsoft to do AR/VR. Now, AR/VR didn't end up working out. That's not what I'm saying Microsoft and Xbox are failing in, though. That's not the failure. In fact, I actually give Xbox and Microsoft some props for trying to do something different. We always say Microsoft and Xbox needs to be trying to do something different. Trying to do something different actually comes with some risk, right? So, what higher risk than doing the same thing over and over again? So we asked them to try to do risk, to take on different things that are more risky. This ended up not working out. That's not the failure. The failure is after the AR/VR thing, as far as gaming wise, and remember, Casey Hudson is a game developer. He's not like he doesn't do like whatever he doesn't do like applications for AR and VR mixed reality for like work stuff, like architecture and stuff like that. He does gaming. He's a creative director. He worked on I believe he worked on KOTOR. And he worked on, obviously he worked on Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. He was a top-level guy, too. I think he might have been creative director, but at the very least, he was a top-level guy. And this gets to my point. So, AR/VR doesn't work out. Okay, why in the heck do you let him leave Microsoft? If you're Microsoft, if you're Phil Spencer, why do you let this guy leave the company? He's already employed at Microsoft. Why don't you get Casey Hudson to go to the Xbox, the regular Microsoft Studios making regular Xbox games, and have him set up his own entire studio, or at least get him a AAA team underneath him to start making games. Like I said, this guy is a top tier level guy at Western RPGs, as I just stated. What is Xbox sorely lacking? RPGs. Okay, and here's a chance to grow your not only grow your IPs, but grow your in-house IPs. That's the big thing. The first party games, not just the Sea of Thieves and the Quantum Breaks and third party exclusive IPs, but your first party 100% in-house stuff. Why don't you? Now, I know people are going to say, hey, how do you know they didn't try to keep him? They could have tried to keep him, right? Okay, that's very true, but that gets me to my point. That gets me actually to my direct point. I don't know what's worse. Which failure is worse? Microsoft tried to keep him, and he said, no, I don't want to make games with you. I'd rather go back and make games with them. I mean, that to me makes it seem like developers really don't like Microsoft for some reason. You know what I mean? Whether it be, not Sunset, but Quantum Break, looks like Remedy's like, nah, we're gonna go third party. There was another, I can't remember. If I can remember, if I remember, I'll try to put it in a link in the description, or someone can put it in the comment section. The developer who said they were happy to go to, oh, that was Remedy. I think it was Remedy who said, we're happy to go, we wanted to go third party. Like this doesn't help, if nothing else, the perception that developers don't want to work with Microsoft. So like I said, either Microsoft and Xbox tried to keep him, he said no, furthering the perception that developers, top tier developers, Remedy, if I'm not mistaken, it was Remedy who after making an Xbox exclusive, Quantum Break, turned around and said, we're glad we're going third party, we're happy to go third party, you know what I'm saying, or we're looking forward. I think the words were like looking forward to go third party, go multi-plat or whatever. And then this adds to that perception, or Microsoft and Xbox didn't try to keep him, which make them look like idiots. Either way, it's a failure. I don't know which failure is worse. I guess that looking like idiots probably is worse if I had to pick one, but neither one of these things look good for Xbox. And the reason why I also bring up that, the fanboys, aren't paying attention or aren't talking about this is because, look it, there's no way you can spin this into this is actually good for Microsoft. This is a top tier talent. Okay? Now I know what some people might argue. Hey, one guy doesn't make a big difference. Wrong. Let me tell you how wrong that is. When you have a top tier talent like a Casey Hudson, if nothing else, if he's willing to stay in the Xbox regular studios and actually make a regular, Xbox exclusive game, full first party game, if he were willing to stay, he could get out, wherever they go to try to get talent. He could, Microsoft could, pull in top talent underneath Casey Hudson. In other words, if you bring me a guy who has no pedigree whatsoever, the likelihood of you drawing in top talent is low, if not, non-existent. But the more credentials you have under your belt, the better the pedigree you have behind you, the better, the easier it is to get top level talent to come work with you. You see what I'm saying? You can lure top talent if you've got a top guy like Casey Hudson saying, hey, calling out the bat signal, if you will, trying to get as many developers as I can because I'm making a new game with Xbox, my employer, obviously. Well, he's not going to say my employer, but you get my point. If he puts that signal out there, higher level talent might get lured over. But if you got somebody with no pedigree, and let me tell you something, I highly doubt Xbox has someone with a higher pedigree than Casey Hudson in the RPG genre. I mean, they got the first party genre down. They got the racing game. I mean, if they had a racing developer show up, like a Need for Speed racing developer, and then came for AR or VR and it didn't work out, I could see them letting that guy go, because, I mean, they got Forza, fine. They're fine with that. Or a first-person shooter that got Halo, that's fine. But RPG? You can't tell me that Xbox has an RPG developer with better pedigree than Casey Hudson. Not with Xbox. I don't believe that, okay? And so that's what I'm saying. And so, like I said, either way, Xbox is, looking bad in this situation. Either they let him go, or they tried to keep him and he wanted to go. Which, again, kills hurts their perception of developers wanting to work with them. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And again, like I said, if maybe I'm too lazy if I can't find it, or if anyone else can find that link of the developer who just did an Xbox exclusive, now saying they're happy to go third party or something. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Remedy. But in any case, if you can find it, leave it in the comment section. That'd be cool. Otherwise, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll holla back. Peace.